That's right. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, she find. The Local Agency Formation Commission for San Mateo County meeting to start. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Cosgrove,
Here.
Commissioner Draper, Commissioner Martin, Commissioner Slocum,
Here.
Commissioner Roback, Chairman O'Neill.
Here. Okay, so on the consent agenda, we have approval of the action minutes for July 18th, 2018. Is there any public comments? No?
I don't have a comment, but there was an issue that was brought up in the minutes that I will be bringing up in item 7, which is Commissioner, not a report, but I have a question.
Okay. Any other comments on?
I was not here July 18th, so I have to abstain.
Okay.
I was not either.
So there was 3 of you. Were you here? Yeah, you were here. Yeah, I was here. So can 3 of us just vote on it?
Well, I'm not sure that's sufficient, but the fact that you weren't here doesn't mean you can't approve the minutes. You just need to have reviewed them,
Okay.
or we could put it over to the next meeting because it's 3 wouldn't be sufficient.
Right.
Correct.
What's the preference? Do you want to postpone to the next meeting?
I'm okay with approving it.
Okay. So motion, please.
I move approval of the minutes. The consent agenda.
Second. Okay. Vote, please.
Commissioner Cosgrove,
Yes.
Commissioner Draper,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin, Commissioner Slocum,
Yes.
Commissioner Roback, Chairman O'Neill.
Yes. Okay. So any public comment for items not on the agenda? Seeing no one, I close that. Okay, number 4, consideration of the amendment of the adopted 2018-19 fiscal year budget pursuant to the Government Code 56-381.
Thank you. Good afternoon. You have a staff report dated September 12th, 2018, which provides information about the budget process and the recommended revision to the Commission's budget. The Commission by law adopts a budget by May 1 and then another by July 1. And the first is a proposed budget, the second is adopted. And because the budget's adopted before the end of the fiscal year, and we base our 18-19 budget on the estimated fund balance, once the year closes and we have the actual year-end fund balance, there's a need to revise the budget. And the recommendation is that you consider and adopt the recommended revisions resulting in an appropriations budget of $574,397 for 2018-19 fiscal year, with any changes that you determine you want to make today. One of the main reasons for this recommended revision is the difference in fund balance, which was $26,043 greater than what we estimated. The report explains that the reason for that is certain expenditures were below what I estimated them to be. And also there was a refund that should have been made to the County of San Mateo in the amount of $12,416, which represents an overpayment by the county in a prior year that wasn't made. So that will need to be made in this current fiscal year. In addition, there were salary savings, or the salaries and benefits were higher than what we estimated them to be in the May budget, but they're still below what was adopted in your adopted budget amount. And we also needed to add the charges for the outside auditors now that that LAFCo budget is moved from the general fund into a trust fund. The one clarification I wanted to make is the July minutes reflect that in response to a question from Commissioner Jim O'Neill, if the $7,700 auditing amount was a fixed amount or an estimate. I incorrectly stated that it was a fixed amount, and it is an estimate. I'm comfortable with that number because the Commission's budget has so few line items in it that I think that will be is a good number to use. Again, I'll be ready to answer any questions that you have. The revision in the budget results in a net operating budget, which is the appropriations less the revenues, of $415,551, and that is a slight reduction in what the 1/3 apportionments are to the county, the cities, and the special districts. So the apportionment amount is $138,317. So I'd recommend that you open public comment, and of course, I can answer any questions you have.
Okay. Is there any public comment on the item number 4 on our agenda regarding the fiscal year budget? Okay, seeing no one, close the public comment. And questions from the commission? No? Motion?
Move approval.
Okay, vote?
Commissioner Cosgrove,
Yes.
Commissioner Draper,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin, Commissioner Slocum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rawback, Chairman O'Neill.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Moving on to item number 5, consideration of a resolution authorizing agreement with the County of San Mateo for staffing, legal counsel, office space, and supplies for the 18-19 fiscal year.
Yes, thank you. You have a staff report dated September 12th. And part of the budget process is that because the commission contracts with the County of San Mateo, it's necessary to authorize a contract so that those funds can be paid from the LAFCo budget to the county for services provided. The contract amount is slightly less than the budgeted amount because the contract amount does not include the outside auditor fees, and it does not include the reserve. So it's recommended that the commission authorize the chair to sign execute a contract with the County of San Mateo in the amount of $549,967.
Does this need public comment? Is there anybody in the public that wishes to address the board? Nope. Okay, closed. And questions from the commission? Okay, motion, please.
Second.
Okay, vote.
Commissioner Cosgrove,
Yes.
Commissioner Draper,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin, Commissioner Slocum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rawback, Chairman O'Neill.
Yes. Okay, moving on to item number 6, the legislative report. Staff?
Yes, just very briefly, you received a staff report dated September 13th, which summarizes the bills that are of interest to LAFCo that were chaptered, along with bills that were to the governor for signature. And we have good news on AB 2019, which governs healthcare, relates to healthcare districts and their websites. And also SB 929 McGuire, which addresses also special district websites and new requirements. Those were signed, but unfortunately, AB 2258, which would have provided grant funding to LAFCos to do special studies for areas that are disadvantaged communities, was vetoed by the governor. And you have that letter at your places. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay. No questions from the commission? Okay. Okay, I guess.
This letter, which is the first time I've seen it, doesn't say it's the dead issue, though, does it?
No, Cal LAFCo plans on pursuing it as a budget item and next budget go around.
Do you have a feeling whether it has a good chance in the next budget cycle?
What I was hearing from the Cal LAFCo legislative members is that it was gaining traction, and this was pretty far advanced for the LAFCo to get it that far that it would probably look good in the next budget cycle.
Good, thank you.
Okay, next item is number 7, commissioner staff reports. I think Ian had something.
The minutes jogged my memory. There were speakers last time talking about the housing that one of the healthcare districts was proposing, and two things. One, when we reviewed their proposal, I thought that there was representation by the district that in fact there would be affordable housing. And the second thing that jogged to my memory was one of our conditions was that there would be annual reports. And so my question is, what's the status of those reports for the healthcare districts, and can we have that information? Because I believe affordable housing was one of the things that they were supposed to tell us about. So that's really my question, and maybe a request to have some information back about their annual reports. Okay, that's it.
Lights just go dim. Like, okay. All right. Any other commissioners or staff reports?
I do have a few things I'd like to report. First, I would like to welcome and introduce the Commission's new management analyst, Rob Bartoli, who's present in the audience. Rob's first day will be Monday the 24th, and he joins us from the San Mateo County Planning and Building Department, where he has worked as Planner 3. And in addition to processing planning applications and preparing CEQA documents, Rob has served as the project manager for the county's local hazard mitigation plan and the coastal transportation plan. He's also been staff liaison to the County Agricultural Advisory Committee and staffed planning's coast-side planning office. His prior work experience includes assistant planner at the City of Cloverdale and planning intern at the City of Pacifica. He holds a BA in political science from Loyola Marymount and is currently enrolled at USF in the Masters in Public Administration program. And so he brings to LAFCo a broad range of land use and administrative experience and familiarity with the county that will be a true asset to the commission and great assistance to me. So I'm pleased to welcome him.
Thank you. Did you want to say anything?
I'll be very brief. Good afternoon, commissioners and LAFCo staff. My name is Rob Bartoli, as Martha said. I'm happy to be doubling LAFCO's staffing size, and we'll be happy to join Martha, and we'll be looking forward to supporting you through LAFCO's work. And I'm happy to be a part of the LAFCO team and look forward to it.
Thank you.
So thank
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Yes.
Glad to have you.
Any questions from council? No?
And
Martha?
a few other things. First, I'd like to thank Ann Draper for being on the screening panel for the applications for this process. It took a good chunk of a day. We had a lot of really good candidates, and she helped make an important decision, as well as Rebecca serving on the interview panel. So it was a very solid process with good applicants, and I think a great result. I wanted to just give you an update on a few other items that are going on. I'm ready to convene the Legislative and Policy Committee to review the amended policies regarding Section 56133 and extension of service outside the city and district boundaries. This is really becoming a hot topic in Redwood City and also in South San Francisco. And I think there's got to be some effort to having a policy that the cities can work with, that we're not slowing projects down. And I'm working with the building department on making sure that they warn applicants early on that there are some changes coming. I'm continuing to work with specifically Redwood City and South San Francisco on annexation of areas that should be annexed if they're in need of services. There's also a project coming up with 9 property owners in Portola Valley on a sewer main extension and annexation to West Bay Sanitary District that will require an environmental document, and hence it'll be great to have someone in-house that can prepare that. Also responding to 56133 again, there's a property owner who is in unincorporated Burlingame adjacent to city boundary that is pushing for a water and sewer extension for a subdivision and just digging heels in about annexation. And so these policies are going to, I think we need to kind of take them in context with that. And then in addition to the West Menlo Park annexation, which has kind of stalled, but there's still interest on the part of the property owners, we now have residents in unincorporated Menlo Oaks, which is wholly surrounded by the city, wanting to pursue annexation. So there's businesses picking up, and I just wanted to make that point that it's a great time, very timely that we're adding staff. And that's all I wanted to tell you.
I have a question in regards to we've been having a lot of issues, specifically with sea level rise. And I remember a few months ago we talked about, is there any role statewide that LAFCo might be taking with sea level rise, or have you had a chance to check into that?
Some of the LAFCOs are involved in the formation of the groundwater, what are the GSAs, agencies, I believe. But there isn't a kind of broad, clear role that each LAFCO's identifying.
I know the San Mateo counties actually the cities are starting to look at forming some sort of joint group in order to try to apply for a group to get funding from whatever sources, state or federal. And I just wondered if we were going to be part of that or not.
That would come to LAFCO if there's a type of entity, a special district, that would be the vehicle for it. If it's going to be a joint powers agency, it wouldn't have to come to LAFCO.
Okay. I don't exactly know the structure. It's of my pay grade, but just kind of.
And you may remember that last year, I think it
We
was,
talked
we
about
adopted a policy that said that we were going to be open to new governmental structures, just to communicate to the cities and special districts that we recognize that there may need to be some new governmental structures that facilitate this new responsibility upon us. Yeah. And so we just don't know what that is, and it may come to LAFCO, it may not. But I think it's a good question to go back to the state LAFCO and just ask again, what's happening statewide, just so that we can be informed if there's any trends or thoughts of what's going on around statewide. Because it's something that, what did you say, there's 800 and some miles of coastal.
73 cities. 73 or 76 jurisdictions are covered by the Coastal Commission between counties and cities.
So a lot of governmental agencies will be involved with that, and if they're in bays not covered by the Coastal Commission, they too will also be involved. So there may or may not be anything statewide, but it'd be good just to ask again.
I was just curious. I haven't spent the whole day with that stuff. Okay, is there anything else? Any other comments from? No? Okay, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All right, good. 16 minutes.
Wow.